Come, summoner. I will bestow you with my power.
Hello and welcome back to the Masters Mod post-game. Last time we beat Gioscano and also Crazy Anima, and now I'm gonna go back to kind of what we were supposed to do before, and get Yojimbo out of the Stolen Faith. Now, all the encounters in here do have auto haste, so it can be a little bit scary, but if you're like me and you have two characters with first strike on, then you can be pretty safe. Even more so with Waka's evading counter weapon. But with this first encounter, really, the main priority is of course that little imp, that little devil. They can put him to sleep with Waka and then finish him off with Auron. So finally we can take these guys out without really having to worry about any of their really annoying retaliatory, berserk, or confuse, or drain, or whatever. Then the guy on the left, I don't really know what to call him, but yeah, you just blind him so that way all of his counterattacks and his normal attacks really don't do anything, they'll just keep missing. And then the Machina, save it for last, because that way, well, then you won't get your power break debuff. Or you could just send out Lulu and just take it out with the lightning. The triple lizards can be a bit scary when it comes down to putting you to sleep and then also healing themselves. But now that Waka has his evading counter and he has a naturally really high accuracy, you don't really need to worry about them as much. And also if you get Auron and Sentinel, that can be pretty funny. The Drake and Dark Elemental combo is actually kind of interesting, but again, really the main focus of this one is the Drake, or at least the main priority, because he'll counter and he'll hit really hard. So one thing that you can do is you can put him to sleep if you can't like blitz him down. But really with the Dark Elementals, as long as you have somebody with Reflect, then you really don't have to worry about them at all, because they'll just randomly bounce off of your guys and take themselves out. It is one good thing to note though, if you're out of MP, you can Osmos some off of them, which is great. But then going back to the Drake, of course, the Poison Sleep combo is super strong, especially if you just don't want to deal with him. With this next encounter, again, all you really have to do is blind them both, because, you know, the counters and all that from the jumpy guy really won't affect you as much. And then the dual horn, that one will be kind of scary, because he throws out a lot of debuffs or a lot of breaks at you that hurt. Just know that, yeah, if he's blinded, then that's great. And then when he does the charging, throw out a nullifier if you can, because yeah, that fireball will do a lot of damage. Now, the triple mushroom fight can actually be pretty bad, especially if you don't have a lot of the status coverage that you need. So, because normally, or at least before, they came in pairs instead of like all three. So you could basically blitz them down with like a double cast from Lulu. But yeah, with this, one of them's gonna survive. Or, you know, there's three of them now. But that's not too big a deal at our level. You can make sure that they're all poisoned, and that way they all kind of go down on the same turn. And I mean, you can still also throw out an overdrive, because there's not too many things that are incredibly threatening that an overdrive will help out with, so. Maybe the only other encounter that you really want to use your overdrives on is the Defender. Now, I only ran into one when I was at like a really high MP, so honestly, the slow threaten and then just blitz down worked for me. But again, if it's like the other ones that we fought in Xanarkand, you can blind it so that way it doesn't completely destroy you half the time when it comes down to it. And then also that counter attack, be careful of that. Then of course there are these guys in the pots. Now, they're kind of cool. If you hit them wrong, or if you end up running out of time, then they'll take out all of your MP and do a little bit of damage to you too. So, only thing is I was kind of stupid for all but the last one that I actually fought, where remember that even though it's one enemy, each eye is a different target. So you think like, oh, I got rid of all of the null elements. Like, why isn't it diffused? Yeah, it's because there's multiple different eyes with all of the null elements on them. So yeah, you can slow this one, and if you haste up Yuna, then you can throw out a whole lot of dispels on each individual eye, and that really isn't a big deal at all. And of course, you can have the Riku throw some elemental items, and have Lulu do a quick double cast. And then you just collect all of the chests around the cave. Now again, these are endgame stuff, so they're really nice. Don't forget to explore every little nook and cranny because they're good chests. Then I'm just gonna customize a counter strike or a counter attack on Orin's weapon that we just got from Anima. So now he can be even tankier, and he'll still be able to get a couple of counterattacks off, which is great. Now, just like all the other fights in this mod, the Yojimbo one is very cool. I do definitely recommend you try it out yourself, but again, you can see how I do it. Now, the name of this fight is kind of time pressure, because what you have to do is you have to make sure that Yojimbo gets targeted by 2 things before his next turn, because otherwise he'll hit you with a Zanmato and you're done. But also you have to power break him and protect your people in order to guarantee that they'll actually survive his attacks, especially if you start spamming out Wakizashi. Now, one cool thing is if Orin is sentineling and he gets hit by a Kozuka, even though he'll probably miss his counterattack, the fact that he does counterattack will take out, or it will fill half of the overdrive gauge, which means you only need to target him one more time, which is great. The only thing is Yojimbo is very evasive, so magic damage is really the best way to hit him. And then also, if you have Demi, he has a lot of HP, so Demi's gonna do the limit anyways. Then also, the way that I've been routing it, I have both Lulu and Waka with double cast. So if one of them goes down, then the other one can actually pick up the slack. So that way they can at least make sure that Yojimbo won't have his Zanmato. It's just super important that you make sure that they are protected and that Yojimbo is power broken, so that way they can actually survive the hit. And of course, you can poison him too, because poison is great, just a lot of free damage. But really, you just can't be stingy with this fight, because if your party members keep getting down, then that's just more turns that you have to waste to get them back up and then rebuff them. And I mean, usually that'll cause a downward spiral, because Yojimbo, if he does like a couple Wakizashis in a row, then you guys just won't have the time to respond, and then he'll get his Zanmato off. This is especially true if he gets hasted, so yeah, make sure that you dispel that as soon as possible, but then after that you reapply the power break, because yeah, you still want to make sure that your guys can survive. But that's another boss in the books. Now, extra HP on a Lulu weapon is pretty interesting. That could be a good idea for making her a very tanky endgame person. So, who knows, maybe that'll be fine. Because really, when it comes to her weapons, she really just needs like half MP, and that's about it. When it comes down to the level ups, really the only thing to note is that Riku, she did dip a little bit into Lulu's grid just because Lulu was going to hers. But really I just did that for that bit of MP right there. I'm actually going to move her straight to Yuna's grid, because that's where Copycat is now. So I'm using one return spear, but now she's going to be even faster. And if she learns some of the more defensive spells, then I mean, that'll save a couple of the Lunar Light Curtains. So we could use those for customizing some auto protect auto shell later on, so that could be pretty useful. Then of course, don't forget to actually recruit Yojimbo and get the chests that are now open to you.
true value. You are a master worth serving. My sword shall guard you on your journey, Summoner.
But that's it for today. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, if you liked the video, I like your face. Bye-bye.